Mentally or physically, success could be defined as getting up one more time after you've been knocked down over and over and over again. I'm T Wood, and this is Triumphant Moments, where I highlight significant moments in life that are beyond the surface to inform, encourage, and inspire people to triumph over their life's challenges. Look, with me today, originally born and raised Pascagoula, Mississippi, Florida State University, 1991 Jim Thorpe Award, and 1991 Jack Tatum Trophy, 1992 first round NFL draft pick, fifth pick overall, had 13 seasons in the NFL, and is a Super Bowl champion. With me today, y'all can go on Google and look up all the accolades y'all want to, but today we're gonna shed light of the man, Terrell Buckley. How you doing, bro?
Hey, thank you, T Wood, man. That's a great introduction. I appreciate that. I just want to add one thing to it. When you Google it, it's actually going to say 14 years. Y'all give me that, give me that one more year. Need that one. But I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me on. It's an honor to share, and I'm excited about this.
Absolutely. You know, I appreciate you taking that time to stop by, man, and allow my viewers to get some encouragement from you. You know, I really appreciate that. Really do.
No
Uh,
problem.
I tell you what, let's dive right on into it. Now, what does a regular day for you look like? Just, get up in the morning and there's a coffee, you're grabbing something, bite to eat, push ups, sit ups, prayer. What is it?
Well, it starts, I'd say, late that night with a little prayer going to bed, and then get up in the morning. I get up. For us as a coach, I am currently a coach in the SEC at the University of Mississippi, Land Sharks.
Absolutely.
And right now we're doing 6 a.m. workouts. So I get up probably about 5:45 a.m.
Mm,
and I have a stretching band. And so after I wash my face and brush my teeth, do all that good stuff, I have a
basics.
roller with the big knots, the little tire things on. So I roll out,
Ooh,
and then I give about a 30-minute stretch. I have to be ready. You got to be ready to roll and run with these young cats because they will try you. They will talk to you crazy, like you can't run, like you never did it before. And so physically, I have to be ready. So I do all that with a couple push-ups, not much weights, just a lot of sit-ups,
I was
back
about to
stuff,
ask.
uh, kind of that, just the movement, stretching, flexibility, keeping the explosion, getting ready to run. Run and move is what it's about.
Uh, Now I gotta ask you. Now, look, you said 30 minutes. Do you
Yeah.
stretch for them full 30 minutes?
Yes, it's a routine. I use a band for half, and
Right.
in between that, I'm doing some sit-ups, and then you get down. You have to get, and I try to get every part of my body, the shoulders, the hips, and all that.
Right.
And because let me tell you why I do that a lot. Besides the physical attributes, I am an avid golfer, so that helps me
Keep that in
golf
mind.
wise also. And I sit on my ankles, I get my hands, get all that stuff loose.
It
You
matters.
got to be ready. You got to be ready.
Mhm. Now you competitive on the golf course, or you just
Without a doubt. That's
okay?
I am a winner.
Okay.
So
Viewers, to be continued. I'm gonna
yes,
give y'all an update on that because y'all didn't notice it, but I smell a challenge. But we're gonna do
yes.
that later down the line. Anyhow, brother, how would you describe growing up in Mississippi?
Mississippi is, I say, describe that. It was different. I grew up in the late '80s. You say I was born in '71, so that early '80s, late '80s, when rap was hitting, when the drug thing was going with crack cocaine and
Heavy.
all that, and
Mhm.
sports, competitive. So those three things that I grew up around that I think has helped me and molded me into what I am today. So
Hmm.
sports was the
Right.
main thing, and being competitive
Right.
with the group. We had in that era. The competition, it was 15 of us, including myself, that had kind of that Division I
Talent.
athletic ability.
Okay.
And now you had to figure out what was going to separate us. Was it going to be the grades? Was it going to be the streets? Was it going to be the girls? What was going to separate you and allow you to keep going?
From the rest.
Yes.
Now, was it a single parent home?
Yes, my mom and dad was married when we was young,
Okay.
in Columbia, Mississippi.
Columbia.
And they got a divorce. Say I was 5, and my dad stayed my father stayed in Columbia. My mom moved to the Gulf Coast between, said Pascagoula, Gaucher, Pascagoula. Gaucher is right. I mean, it's literally a red light, and you're in Pascagoula.
Whew.
And growing up in actually Gaucher, and we didn't have a high school, so we had to go to Pascagoula for the high school.
Oh.
So the family dynamic was married, dad there. All of a sudden we move, go to the coast. He stays in Columbia, and right outside of Columbia, he moved to an area called Expos. Now that's country, right? Expos. You get a name like Expos. What is Expos? What is that? So he got married, but the Expos, they had, he had 10 acres of land. My grandma and Paw.
Oh yeah. Hey, viewers, that's country. All right. He just gave you the code. That's country. I'm sorry, bro. Go ahead.
And then it wasn't grandpa, it was Paw and grandma.
Yes, sir.
Grandmother.
Gotcha.
So they was on one side, and just in that area in Gaucher, Pascagoula, you had to be focused on what you was doing. In between that and sports and going to church and working like my mom was doing. That kept us busy, and the coaches, one of the reasons I am a coach is the guys, the coaches, the teachers that influence me. I want to have that same influence and impact on young men also. So that was kind of you really don't know when they say you single parent home, you come and it's a lot of things you miss.
Right.
I didn't know any better. It's one of those things you don't know you're missing something if you never had it. So for me, what we was doing was kind of a way of life. Like, hey, we're gonna go here, we're gonna budget, we're gonna go to Wendy's every 2 weeks after we save about $20, $30.
That's like steak.
Yes, and that Frosty, that Frosty was the cleaning. Now, I ain't say that about I ain't mentioned that about now that extra steak was when we can go get that Big Mac, and that Big Mac just fall all out your hand and do all that.
Dang, so that was universal. Okay, I thought it was just what I found.
No, so it was interesting, and you really don't know that you're missing anything until you leave and you look back years,
right?
And you realize that wasn't really even important anyway.
Now, see, with that said, now I gotta ask. Now you mentioned church. Now I know in different families, attending church is it varies. You got a morning service, evening service, afternoon Bible study, worship, praise.
Let me tell you something. Every day, my family's. I would say I'm a Bible believer, and looking back on it, I think everybody was part of the church. The pastor did all the talking, and it took probably that closing part was the longest part of church. I mean, it would close. It would take at least 25, 30 minutes after you done, and
come on, man.
On that third day,
come on, man.
And you sitting there, you standing up, you about to pass out because you're like, hey man, is this going to end? I mean, how long? I mean, what are we doing? And then you come back and do it again.
No, bro.
And then you do it again. But the camaraderie you got there was awesome. But yes, man, we Bible study, Sunday service, Monday, gatherings, you cook. I mean, you name it, we did it.
Put in
We
church
did it.
work.
Yes, it workmanlike, and I think obviously for me, obviously where I'm at now,
Right.
not to get ahead, but truly being saved in 1998, actually in Texas, being baptized and accepting the Lord as my Savior, and actually diving into the Bible, actually reading from the first page, Old Testament to the back, and following, understanding it for myself versus somebody just telling me how it's supposed to be. This is what Job did. This is what this is reading the stories and seeing and where was the connection, where was the veil broken, what Jesus bringing, like why, what was the structure of all that, and diving and having Bible studies and leading them, being a part of them. At Florida State, when I was in college, we had Bible studies at Thursday nights up in the stadium. That really, really was huge for me too.
Wow, that was key also for you?
Oh man, that was unbelievable, man. That was Thursday night.
You said every night?
Yeah, every Thursday nights. We had Bible studies on Thursday nights.
Okay. Now see, when you think about it, I guess if you kind of look back at it, that reminds me, when you look back at all the accolades that you had, let's say growing up in high school, any accolades that you might have received then, what would you, out of all them accolades, what would you say are some of the values you admired growing up?
Man, you go back to the work ethic and what it took to get there, and the commitment and the integrity of we were state champs when I was in high school. And one of the things that people don't realize is one of the reasons that I ended up starting. So I'm going in, I just finished my 10th grade year, and in Mississippi, 7, 8, 9 is middle school. 10th was kind of the annex, and then 11 and 12. So we really wasn't technically, if you say in high school, to 11 and 12th grade. So my 10th grade year, I was dabbing between what you would call that, man, I don't know what would you call that gap year, the JV and the varsity of
JV and
high school. And we got a new coach, Shane Matthews, Bill Matthews, rest in peace. Shane Matthews was my teammate who went on to play quarterback for the University of Florida.
Gotcha.
And broke all records. But his dad made a commitment to us. And this is when you say the integrity and the blessings that you have that you don't even realize.
Right.
We had a couple of different workouts in the summer. And he made a statement to the team. Okay, we're going to set these workouts up. If you don't come and you don't make all your workouts, I'm going to demote you. I'm going to make it. So if you're a starter, you're going to go with the second team. If you're a second team, you make all of them, you move up. Kind of that hierarchy. You just do a circle. So unbeknownst to me, I'm doing all my workouts, doing what I'm supposed to do, following these are the rules, letting me do what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Banging my weights, running. The starter, who was going to be a senior next year, he didn't make all the workouts. So we go into training camp. I didn't know that. And this is what integrity of a person comes in, and you don't even know the blessing when the Lord has that covering on you, right? So he says, such and such made the workouts. He didn't make the workouts. This is what we're going to do. All right. Buckley, let's go. You running with the ones. Now, obviously, he didn't know. I was splitting time. He don't know. I'm a little bit of dude.
Yeah.
But I knew. And the Lord knew. That opportunity, you have to be prepared for the opportunity. And that opportunity presented itself. Went out there, got a bunch of picks. That supposedly started the next year, he's behind me. Here I am, that junior, and went on to be the only all-state junior on the state championship team. Unbelievable preparation, that faith, and doing what I'm supposed to do, meeting opportunities.
See,
And I take my hat out to Coach Matthews because he was a man of his word and he showed integrity, he was honest, all those things.
wow. See,
Yes.
when you look at that, now you take a look at those things. You took advantage of that moment, okay?
Yes.
You took advantage of that blessing, actually. All right.
Yes.
And then from that moment, is it safe to say that you had more than one option of what college you wanted to choose? You chose Florida State.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
what is it about that stuck out? Well, because you had options.
Yeah. Pretty much every college in the country. And, I was a baseball player. I was drafted out of high school.
Yep.
Played baseball, was offered okay money to give up football by the Seattle Mariners. And obviously, this again, when you have a covering in the Lord, because my family, my mom, they ain't know nothing about this. They ain't know nothing about the money, about sports, and I didn't have people running to me, giving me advice and all that. It was basically prayer. Like, I don't know a whole lot, but if I'm a two-sport guy and you offering me this amount of money not to play this, I do know that's not enough. So that was my thought thing. Like, man, I know that ain't enough. So I tell you, I'm gonna go and play football. So that was one tough decision. The next one was what school. And when you have Coach Bobby Bowden, who's a Bible believer, who's a Bible reader, coming to your house, coming to talk to you, and he's telling you, I'm gonna be fair and honest with you, and I'm gonna give you the opportunity to reach your potential, whatever that is, and your goals are, and your dreams. You're gonna have that opportunity here at Florida State. I'm gonna allow you to play baseball at Florida State, and then I can look on the screen and see Deion Sanders playing football and baseball,
Right.
Sammy Smith playing football and baseball.
My God.
And they like, yeah, well, okay, I believe him. And the best defensive player in the country, probably one of the best defensive backs ever, Deion Sanders at that school, and you talking to him and like, man, yeah, come on. And my nickname in high school was a general. He's like, well, I'm prime time. I said, well, I'm a general. So so he had a nickname, I got a nickname, like, man, let's get it. And to top it off, the defensive coordinator, Mick Andrews, who I think is the greatest defensive assistant ever,
right,
was also the defensive back coach. And he was recruiting me.
See.
So you got the head coach, the head who believes and trusts. The guy that actually gonna be coaching me is actually recruiting me. And he just recruited arguably one of the greatest college football players ever.
See. Look.
You gotta be out your mind not to go.
Come on.
Why my thing, I asked him, why would I go anywhere else? Why? So, and it was only 4 hours from my house.
Right. Kind of a no-brainer.
No, up by 10, let's get it done. And FAMU was around the corner.
FAMU! Jewel alert. FAMU. Jewel alert.
Yes, the set.
All my FAMU is gonna hear you right now.
Yeah, man, FAMU Rattlers, baby, Rattlers. Man, I spent more time over there probably at Florida State.
Look, you know,
had TCC.
You know what's interesting? Tell me this now. Now, a lot of people didn't realize. Now, you a theater major?
Yes, I started out as a theater major.
What made you choose that? Do you think that is something that you would have been interested in really like developing, or
I still could? Let me tell you something. Victor Newman, does that ring a bell?
Ooh.
Victor Newman, Young and Restless.
Hey.
I grew up watching soap operas.
What you know about it?
Man, my mom and them used to watch. I see Victor Newman. I see this cool cat that had black on all the time. He was the richest guy on the show. He could do whatever he wanted to do. He had all the girls. It was like, man, I want to be like Victor Newman.
You got to drop that. Give me one character name off the show to be official.
Besides Victor Newman?
Yeah.
Oh man. Because there's so many names. Oh, gee. I played golf with one of them too, man. Yeah. Mm.
I tell you what, I'm gonna give you a chance to marinate on that
Wait a
bad
minute.
boy.
Yeah, give me a chance,
Yeah, I'm
coach.
gonna give you a chance to
I'm thinking
marinate on
about Jack Abbott.
it. Okay.
Jack Abbott and
You
the
got
family, his
you got
nemesis, the
take
Abbott family. Yes.
take a look here.
Yes.
Now, a lot of people don't realize how much you love your daughters. All right.
Yes. My baby.
So, with that being said, just think back. What is something what are some moments that stand out about when you're that are positive that you spent time with your daughters? Is any moments that stand out amongst the rest? Something y'all did
Man,
together?
man, we used to spend summers together. Uh,
And for the record, you have 3 daughters. You have
I
3
have
daughters.
3 girls, Terrell, Brianna, and Brittany.
Mhm.
26, soon to be 24, Brianna, and a 20-year-old.
Mhm.
2 of them already graduated. Brianna is in getting her master's at Rice. You see, I got the Notre Dame shirt on Notre Dame, Dad.
I
She started
see.
out at Notre Dame.
Proud
Uh,
dad.
yes, proud dad. And my baby graduates in April from Mississippi State with a business degree. So 2 engineers and 1 business major. So I would say, man, it's so many because that was my life and everything that I do revolves around them. I would say one of my main goals was to spend so much time with them that I would get a nickname or we would be able to hang together without it being anything special.
Mm.
So when they started calling me the general or T Buck instead
Uh-oh.
of dad all the time, I knew that I was doing my job as a dad, not just as a father. Anybody be a father,
Mm.
but as a dad, that meant I was relevant and I was around. I was there, and I was
T-Buck,
putting in that quality time.
T-Bucks, you just said something so profound. Now, so there's a difference between being a father and a dad.
Yes, yes.
Give me your breakdown of that. What's the difference?
Just my experience. I
Yeah.
had a father
Mhm.
that when my mom and him got divorced, he got remarried, and I didn't see him. I mean, often. It was every blue moon. So the dad, to me, he helped father and bring me into this world, which I will always honor and respect that. But the dad part of knowing him and spending
Wow.
time and eating popcorn together and just sitting on the couch doing nothing,
Mm.
uh, ice cream breaks. Hey, you want to go run and get some ice cream? You
Mhm.
know, that I never experienced that with him. I did that with mom and other folks, and that's what it's sports. You had other people doing it. But with him, I never experienced that growing up. We did a little bit of that when I got older,
Right.
and that's one of the things that for me as a father,
Okay.
turned dad, that motivated me that I wanted to make sure that we had a relationship beyond just me helping create.
That T-Buck, that's what I wanted to really step back and transition to real quick. Now,
Mhm.
during your college and the pros, now you
Yeah.
decide to prioritize family is what all
Yes.
I need to make sure my listeners know. T-Buck is big on family. Okay.
Yes.
So that rises the question. Can you think back to one of the most greatest challenges you had or some rough times you might have had trying to make sure that you had that foundation of family and time spent?
Oh man. Yes. Well, I obviously so I'm divorced from the girl's mom. One of my heartbreaks. My dream was to get married and have all my kids by one person and be married for forever.
Right.
My grandmom and pawpaw like that. I got aunties and cousins, and when that didn't happen, it
Mm.
was I think a wake up call because most when you got athletes, and I say athletes, but I think men in general are like this. When we think we're successful in worldly terms, and you got a name, that everything is about us. And so meeting my ex in college when I was the general and had all this stuff about me, man, I think was, and not letting the Lord truly work and change me, led to that crucial moment of sitting in the mediation room and working out details on a divorce from somebody I loved and had beautiful kids with. And I'm pretty sure she felt the same way, because before you talking about good friends, but when you're not listening and you're not taking those right steps, you put yourself in this situation. So I had a choice to make.
Wow.
What is that choice going to be? There's obviously something missing that I kept telling myself. You got all this money, you're young, you got this, you got that, but you sitting in here and you about to get a divorce from somebody that 12, 13 years ago, I mean, y'all was sitting in the parking lot just talking about your dreams, just dating and doing all that. So what happened? What happened? Some things were revealed.
Right.
And to me, what happened was not paying attention and not having the people and listening to the right people that had me going in the right direction, and realized that I had veered off. Just with the attitude. To me, it's the attitude. It wasn't all you're chasing all the women, you're doing all that. The attitude of appreciation, the attitude of gratitude. And I had pretty much lost it. I thought it was all about me and everything that I wanted to do, and not including her into the situation, my wife at the time.
Right.
And after that, man, my girls, when you have kids,
oh man,
in this case, girls, and Lord still gave me some sense to realize, hey man, you got girls. This is what you said you want to do. Let's make sure we keep this going.
Ooh.
They changed. They did something to me that my wife couldn't do at the time. My mom couldn't do.
Woo.
You know, nobody could do, because now they're my responsibility.
Jewel alert.
And they looking up to me, and do I want to be in the same boat I was without my dad? And absolutely, it was absolutely not. So everything about my approach and everything I did, I'm talking about, I would pick them up right the day before school got out,
right?
Had them for the whole summer. Changed the vehicle, bought had a minivan. They called me the minivan dad.
Oh Lord!
I mean, they would make me laugh. They would be honest and be like, "Nah, that ain't funny," or "Nah, Dad, that's wrong," or "That ain't how you treat people." You know, stuff that people probably were saying before that I wasn't really paying attention. Now I got these 3 little girls here telling me, especially my oldest one, like, "Nah, that ain't right, Dad." You like, what? And then you going back and forth, and you realizing, man, these little kids, you ain't gonna win this battle.
They pay attention.
Just everything about that situation. And like I said, the Lord got my attention, and the girls, man, they finish it off in the relationship. Just to be like today, what I'm doing now, you know, sitting in the office and bring my ex back into, I'm sitting in her office in her business. She owns like Geico.
Let that sink in. You sitting in whose office?
I'm sitting in my ex-wife office in her business, doing this interview right now, because when the girls, we went through that divorce, and I let go all that anger, let go all that like, man, this is how it's supposed to be, because I messed it up.
Right.
And I had the belief the Lord blessed me before, he would bless me again if I change my attitude, if I change my way of thinking, and not just being so full of this anger and mess and all that. This person out to get me, they out to get, she wanted to blah, blah, blah. I let all that go, and the girls helped me to realize that. And I went to And I took all of it. So, hey, man, all of it is my fault.
Drop
Don't
it.
worry. You've been a blessing. You got the girls. You take whatever. You've been a blessing. And for me to have a relationship with my kids was the most important thing. Not being an NFL player, not making all this money, not having all this over there. It was a relationship with my girls. And because of that, the Lord has blessed me. Now I'm where I am now. No, none of that in your body because it eats you up. When you're angry and despised and spiteful and all that eats you up, and it stunts your blessing.
Wow.
And so I'm literally sitting in here, and we pick. If she needs me to pick up from the airport, I pick up and I blessings and it's funny you say that because most people now I have a fiance.
Right.
And one of the first things that I told her when we got together, obviously about the girls, about my relationship with my ex-wife.
Right.
And 95% of people be like, man, no, you can't be that friend and all that. I'm like, why not? I said, it's proven. When I was at in Tallahassee and I was coaching and sold my house down there, when I would go back, see the girls.
Right.
She's like, hey, do you want this room? Stay in the room right now. You gonna be down in a couple of days, you're going back. So it's that type of on both parts. And I give her credit. It's nothing. Both of us realize we blessing and we know we put the girls in front, and from that's helped both of us grow and get to the point we are now.
The big picture. The bigger picture.
Yes.
Look at here. T-Buck, man, just listening to that, okay? I want to just go back and just quickly summarize that just for the listeners in case you missed it, which there's no way you could have because you just broke it down. There will come a time, there will come an opportunity where you have a chance to kind of prioritize what means most and what means most to you. All right. Brother, I admire and I respect the things and the decisions that you made in your life to get to this point, because I know just from the outside looking in, because we all have our struggles, but just from the outside looking in, it wasn't easy. Come on, T-Buck. It wasn't easy.
No, sleepless nights, anxiety before that change, before all that, man, everything that you think about that you can have, like, why me? Everybody asks, why me? What, all that, instead of looking at yourself and saying, it was me. It was me. Now, how can I rectify this? And one of the things that I did that helped me, again, I go back to college and those Bible study days.
Right.
Well, as soon as all this was going on, we started Bible study on Friday nights in Miami. Young, plenty of money, but was going through this storm. I get myself. I done went from point A to point Z, 100 miles per hour with all this. And you keep asking yourself, why are you not happy? Why are you not doing all these things?
Listen up.
Here's the answer. Bam, the Lord opened that Bible up, you start reading, and you see that the pride, what comes before the fall? The pride, right? And here's that pride that's destroying my family, destroying a relationship that I had with my wife. And my girls, obviously, with the Lord, helped me to realize that. And I had to change. I had to make a change.
Look, T-Buck, my brother, there's going to be a listener, I'm sure, with a similar situation, or just being able to kind of relate to what you're saying right now. We're at a point where I want you to tell me, are there any other dreams and hopes that you have for your daughters? Is there anything specific out there that you have that you may aspire for your children to either accomplish or achieve or experience? Is there something out there that you would like for them? Other than what they've already done.
Well, they've done, the biggest thing is making sure they understand that they have somebody in their corner, growing up, that their dad is in their corner, no matter what happens. And the relationships that they're going to cultivate and start their family and do all that it's 50, 50 and y'all decide how that's gonna work with the relationship, but you don't need them and they don't need you. Just based on physical appearance or the knowledge, but it's a feeling and it's a workman-like relationship.
Come on, man.
That you ask the tough questions and you deal with it. And when y'all get together, you make it a partnership. So when y'all are out, you walk, you move, you talk as one. That's what I talk to them about. Once you make that commitment, make it as one. Don't turn it into a competitive situation.
Come on, man.
And don't try to be Bogart and be the lead, the alpha dog, and all that, because your daddy has been there. And without you guys, I don't know where your daddy will be in the Lord. So let's make sure that we understand as you move forward that this should be your guidelines. And you still gonna have your ups and downs, but at least you'll have a better chance in understanding where that person's coming from.
Right.
And they will understand where you're coming from.
Right.
And I always tell them, make sure, I say, y'all see all these blessings and the stuff I'm getting. What do? We go to church. We go to a non-denominational church and we read the Bible. As you see your daddy pray for every meal, gives thanks. You win the Super Bowl, I give thanks. Don't go crazy. I ain't going out and doing that. We won a Super Bowl in New Orleans. That night, after all that stuff, where we end up? All of us ended up in one room on a big old bed, sleep.
Come on, man.
All of us.
Look, T-Buck, look. There's something I created called Encouragement for Free. And at the end of the show, no matter if it's something that we talked about or it's something that you may have placed in your heart, that some kind of information or some kind of encouragement that you can provide for our listeners for free right now, no matter what it is, what would it be?
I would use the word that I say ignorance shouldn't be frowned upon, because I was ignorant in a lot of things growing up. And even today I use that where if you don't ask, ignorant to me, you don't know. And if you don't ask questions, you don't ask anybody, you'll never know.
Come on.
So when somebody says they're dumb, they don't know, they don't want to strive for nothing, I guess the word the ignorant part is, let's make sure that we ask questions. If we don't know, if I don't know, I'm going to ask. And don't be afraid of asking. And somebody, you don't know, because eventually they'll give you the answer, they'll give you what you really want to know. So I would say the encouraging thing is, don't be afraid to ask what you don't know. You cannot improve, you cannot grow if you don't know. And I think for me, the blessing that out of all the stuff I've given my kids besides being there is that. Oh, they're gonna ask.
If they don't do nothing else, they gonna sit quiet. They're gonna ask.
They're gonna ask. And they're gonna take pride in asking, even if they don't know.
Look, brother, I appreciate you. We're gonna talk, we're gonna chop it up, man. All right.
Yes. I look forward to
it. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, T-Wood, thank you for having me, man. And anytime, any place, anything I can do for you, let me know. And hopefully we get on this golf course one day.
I'm telling you right now, and this gonna be continued. Yeah, we still controlling it. I'm gonna continue, and I'm gonna let y'all know. Anyhow, man, sometimes in life you must fail in order to succeed. But one thing must remain certain: that you never, ever, ever give up. It's Triumphant Moments with T-Wood. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, man. Y'all take care.
All right.